to this live. I haven't done one in a very long time. Excuse me, I'm still kind of adjusting myself. So I am Georgia, and this is Cosmic Heart Space. Today I'm going to be sharing a little bit about womb wisdom, the up and coming ceremony, which is called Cosmic Heart Womb Wisdom. And this is going to have all the information today, well, some of it, and I'll come back again and share more things with people. The more questions that people ask, I will come back and answer anything that we need. So when we get started, I just want to take a breath and just come into the body. Allow yourself to make any noise and just freeing up whatever needs to be freed up in the body and the breath. There's something incredible about the breath that just really takes us out of whatever we were in, any vibration, and just really centers us back in our true authentic self when we really go in on the presence of the breath. So drop any comments below, say hello, where you're from, and I will try and have a look. I'm not sure if I can on this. I'm doing this on the phone, so again, this is something that we're going to be working with today, and I'm just going to see how it goes, as I haven't done a live in a while, especially not on YouTube. I'm usually over on Instagram quite a lot. I share a lot of information over there. I do a lot of lives over there as well, but I'd love to start being more present here and communicating about womb wisdom. So just a little bit of a backstory for those that maybe are not familiar with myself or what I do and what I have been doing. And I started this channel, I think in 2021 or 2022, sharing all about light language. And I was just sharing channelings. I was feeling inspired and guided by my spirit guides, my soul family, multidimensional aspects, whatever you refer to them as. You can see one behind you and behind me even. And through that, I really began to open up and explore more of this aspect of myself. It took a lot of surrendering, and it took a lot of really, and not say it taking a lot, like as if there was a trouble for it, because it was an absolute joy. To really drop into the surrender of my feminine nature, just being in the woods for hours at a time, maybe even the whole day. I would, especially during the lockdown, I was spending all day just in the woods and playing and being one with nature and communicating through the songs and the sounds and the vibrations of the light language, of the channeling from my soul and my heart. And this developed into writing codes and images, and really that even came first because I was meditating and writing messages to myself in a channeled state, and then it started to become different symbols and different patterns and then different beings, and I was like, okay, there's something going on here. This isn't my language, and I don't know, communicating with the guides, it's like, what is this? And then I was getting more and more information on that and my path and where I've been in different lifetimes, where I am in different multidimensional realities, And through that journey, I was able to discover that there's a very divine feminine aspect to this that we have lost in a lot of our teachings, a lot of different religious teachings, spiritual teachings. Don't necessarily have any goddess aspects, and there are definitely some that do, but even some of those, like paganism, for instance, isn't necessarily the mainstream that shares about the goddess, and we've lost maybe some reverence to that frequency and that what that embodies for us. And evidently, we know that Pachamama, Gaia, Mother Earth is a goddess. She's this beautiful being that holds all of us. And when we reconnect with this goddess aspect within ourselves, we reconnect with the goddess of this planet. We reconnect with nature. We reconnect with the cosmos and all that is, and we begin to really feel that wholeness with heaven on earth. And then we begin to create heaven on earth, because we create that within ourselves, within our being, through the act and embodiment of divine, the divine within us, which is that essence of the goddess. And so yeah, that's the roundabout story. There's lots of different things interwoven there that guided me through this path. And last year, I really took a bit of a hiatus from helping others in terms of being online with others, and I was spending a lot more time in Costa Rica, and I was spending a lot of time doing some training as well. So I did some taoist and tantric training, working with the feminine sacred arts to activate womb health, womb wisdom, de-armoring this area. If anyone's not familiar with a yoni, it is a sacred terminology for what we would term as maybe either the vulva or vagina, people say, and the sexual organs, okay, of a woman, a female anatomy. So when I say yoni, that's what I'm referring to. I'm speaking in more of a sacred terminology. And so we've learned a lot about that. That's what I was training in, so that I could combine that with the light language and the information that I was getting. I'd already held some workshops called The Way of Lemuria, Crystal Consciousness, and we were working with the crystal mandalas that I create for people and the light language, and we were doing some physical activities, movement, massage, things like this, to really integrate these high consciousness frequency into physical bodies, because that's what the goddess does. That's what the goddess is. It's that creation. It's creating consciousness into matter, it's spirit into being, you know. And it's interesting because something that I have noticed through a lot of what I've been doing is that we go up and up and up, we raise our vibration, and it can actually be kind of disassociating. So through this, I've also learned some trauma informed information as well, and how to handle witnessing and experiencing trauma when I'm helping others on a one-to-one and in group sessions, which I think is a very big topic right now, because we're coming more and more aware of even what we might term as the micro trauma. There's trauma on all different levels. If you have a difficult way of experiencing something, you may feel that you have let's say, a certain behavior pattern that sometimes doesn't get necessarily identified, because nothing particularly what is in the world has been deemed as trauma before is doable. It's not relatable. And now we're picking up and we're learning about the signs of all different ways that trauma can show itself, and ways that it can develop in our early childhood. Once again, another backstory of me is that I have been working with children for the last couple of years as well, since 2019, that is. I was doing children's yoga in schools and nurseries, so I have a background in learning NLP, child psychology, children's yoga and behavior, all of these different things that I was taught within my yoga training, to really understand what it's like growing up. So when I then work with adults, I can really see what it was, because I see it playing out in the actual children, and I also see it playing out in the adults who have had those little things happen to them, whether they were shouted at or anything. It can be really, really simple things sometimes, and so we have to honor it all. And this is something that's been really, really important for me to integrate, and I'm really pleased that in this ceremony, that's what's going to be going to be looked at. We're going to look at how to um, be with that frequency. We're going to look at really working through the light language and bringing through this high vibrational frequencies and energies, but also knowing that we're still here in this body and loving the body, nurturing the body, and healing whatever needs to be healed so that we can start to hold more of this light. We can start to work with more of our light vibrational resonance in our physical bodies through this work. It's like you can't do one without the other. There's lots of somatic practices out there, and then there's lots of high galactic quantum ascension work out there, and I'm not really seeing them personally. I haven't been into anywhere where I'm really seeing the two really merge together in a healthy way. So I'm hoping that this is what's going to be manifesting through this. That we're going to be looking at how we can retrieve this high conscious information, alchemizing it within our physical bodies, and really loving and honoring and having reverence for the body that is holding this frequency, so that it's not lost when we then suddenly start to just wish to go up to the stars and we want to just go and be off on all these adventures and all these different realities. But we're obtaining that and bringing that back here into this reality as well, so that this reality can start to manifest that frequency that we wish to create in this world, because it's not going to go anywhere in that direction if we're always looking outside of ourselves to have an experience somewhere else and move on to somewhere else, because this isn't working anymore. It's really, when we really look at that, we can really create heaven on earth within ourselves by loving ourselves, by being embodied with who we are in this reality, and calling in those vibrations to exist in this reality with us. And then the more people are able to do that, then we get this collective heavenly frequency. And that's what I really feel is happening for a lot of people. We're starting to shift and realize that we can't go and do it from somewhere else. It's here, it's within us. And all the codes are within you. They're always within you. So I haven't been able to look at if there's been comments because it won't let me see them on here because I'm just on my phone at the moment. But do drop them in after I share this, and we can have a little look, and I'll write and message anybody and reply to anybody if you have any questions. And then you always have the idea to email me or message me over on Instagram as well if you have any private questions that you want to ask around the womb wisdom ceremony that's happening on the 12th of February, and we will be starting at 7 p.m. UK time. This is a 2-hour ceremony, okay? So it's going to be really diving in. There's going to be enough time for us to get really deep within ourselves, what needs to come up, what needs to be released, really getting into a really deep ceremonial frequency, a sacred space. And then we'll be moving into some sacred feminine practices as well, and movement to help to activate what in Tantra we call Shakti. And Shakti is our life force, it's our sexual energy that when we open that up, this is what people call Kundalini as well, when that energy rises up through us. And when we let Shakti move in a healthy manner, we're able to let it flow and move through us, and our life becomes more embodied in a frequency of the goddess. And of course, I do just want to say that with the Taoist practices as well, we ensure that when we're working with this frequency, that it is a very embodied practice. Because I know that some people can become concerned about Shakti rising when they're not ready, moving through certain chakras. And this is why the particular framework that I like to go by and practice is that really working through the body to go in to where we need to release any stagnation, any blocks, any belief systems, anything that's held within our templates that we want to release, so then we can start to work through this high vibrational frequency into our field, and also live in a space where we're moving it and feeling that vibration and knowing where it's going and holding that vibration within ourselves to be a beacon of our life. So it's not something that we take out the box, put in the box, take out the box, put in the box. It's something that runs through our body, it runs through our whole system, and it helps to heal our whole body when we are in flow with our Shakti energy, or you may say your sexual life force energy. And another little note, which I find such a beautiful thing to remember, because I know that sometimes talking about sexual energy can sound triggering. It can seem like it's not a spiritual act to work with sexual energy, or putting the word sexual on these things can have a different meaning to different people. But this is the energy that created us. Individually, we have all been created from this energy. As the whole, this is the energy, the very energy that has created all of life. And when we move through the distortion of what this energy and how it's been displayed, and what these acts are that are named under this same name, that are not the same thing necessarily, we realize that there is something so powerful to work with that frequency within our being, living from that, knowing that that's who we are. This is our life force, our existence runs on this very energy, and we can create our reality through this frequency as well, this energy, because we're not just giving it away. We know how to use it, we know where it's going, what it's doing, because we're working with these sacred practices. So I just want to send you all so much love. Thank you for listening. There'll be much more details as time goes on, but do drop in, go onto the website. There's a full list of all the different things that are going to be going on in the workshop, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Thank you for now, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.